Great evening to each and every one of you. Lakeisha McKnight is here. I want to welcome you to the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. It's a podcast that is indeed connected to and is a media outlet for a nonprofit based in Chesapeake, Virginia, entitled Women of Elevation Career Services International. And so I want to welcome you to this exciting podcast that airs live every Tuesday and Wednesday around the time of 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States of America. Now, we welcome you once again. And our purpose, the whole purpose and mission of the nonprofit and the podcast is to empower women like yourselves with the tools to be able to create, relate, and elevate. So before we dive into our episode on tonight, which is like an intro type of episode, I am going to share on the social media platform that we leverage the most, which is Facebook. So I'm going to share on my personal timeline right now. Okay. And then I'm going to also share in the community group and on the fan page for this podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and type in join me now as I am live empowering. Okay. We'll get the spelling right. Empowering women on. Okay, action taking. Here we go. All right, so I am going to type this in and I'm going to post this on my timeline. So here we are. So posting a little something on my timeline. Now I'm going to go ahead into the community group, Women of Elevation community group on Facebook. And you can easily find our community group when you go to the search area on Facebook and you enter in Women of Elevation. So when you search for it, you'll be able to find it. We're also going to begin to be just a tad bit more organized and include some information in the description area of our podcast episodes. So stay tuned for that. Right now, I'm going to also post on the fan page for the podcast. So let me go ahead and post on there. Perfecto. So again, thank you so much for joining me here on this particular platform. This is the Spreaker platform that we're utilizing right now. We realize that there are so many of you from around the world that like to tune in and become connected to Women of Elevation and this podcast. And so this is the reason for it. So if you can hear me clearly, or if you're enjoying anything that you hear during this episode, what I want to do is encourage you, okay? I want to encourage you to hit the heart button on the Spreaker platform. Once again, hit the heart button on the Spreaker platform that lets us know that you can hear me clearly and that you are enjoying what you're hearing thus far. Also note that on the Spreaker platform, you have the ability to answer, to ask questions, or to provide a comment in reference to anything that we're sharing on the podcast platform. So feel free to do so. And you can always check out our website to learn more about the nonprofit and the podcast. And our website address is www.womenofelevation.com. All right. So once again, thank you so much for being here on this evening, and depending on where you are, it could be early morning, because we know there are many people from around the world who tune in. There's so many of you from Nigeria, many of you from South Africa, even throughout different countries within Asia. We thank you so very much for your connection, and especially those of you in the United States and Canada, right? We appreciate your listenership. Thank you so much. Remember to continue to share these episodes with other women. Share the episodes with other women. We strongly encourage it. All right. So here's what we like to do. I want to share with you how with this particular podcast, as well as with overall the nonprofit organization, Women of Elevation, we have three core areas we focus on: creating, relating, and elevating. During the first 4 months of the year, we focus specifically on creating. So we help women to create products, services, the lifestyle that you desire. And then the next 4 months, we focus in on building healthy personal and professional relationships. And then the last 4 months of the year, we help you to prepare to elevate. And we cover different topics that's going to help you to move closer and closer to your due season. And so what we're doing this month, during the month of December, now that we're here, we're going to help you to learn how action taking will help prepare you for elevation. Because during the last 3 months, we focused on different areas that's going to help you to draw closer and closer to your due season. We talked about various things. We talked about casting a vision. We talked about your purpose. We talked about so many things, even goal setting. But now we're talking about action taking and executing. Okay, so action taking, and this is a little bit of an introduction, by the way. Action taking has a lot to do with having a plan. So before you can even take action, you have to know what actions you're going to take. And then you have to be strategic about those actions. Action taking involves you being in movement. You have to be moving. Okay, this is not just lip talk. It's not just you guiding and directing people, but you have to be in motion. And so for the month of December, we're going to talk about different steps you can take, different actions you can engage in to draw closer to your due season. What are some things that you can be doing right now to really elevate and move into your desired career? What action steps can you take? What things that can you do in action, moving those feet, moving those hands, moving those arms, movement? This is what we're focusing in on. Not a whole lot of, let me think about it. I got to think about it some more. I got to brain. No, at this point, because we've already talked about thinking, strategic thinking. We've already talked about having a plan, but you really need to be taking action. So what does that look like? What does execution or action taking look like? We're going to talk and delve more into this on tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure that you are here, that you're ready to go to listen into this information and to take note, because that's what we're going to focus in on during these episodes. So be sure, set your notifications, set your alarm so that you're here with us. So I appreciate you. And we're going to give you some more updates along the way, because let me tell you, we plan to have more voices on this podcast like we have before in the past. We want to get more voices on here. So we want to encourage you to stay plugged in, because the best is yet to come here with Women of Elevation. We're going to get more co-hosts here. And as a matter of fact, the thought has been that with our new and with some of our board leaders, a part of the nonprofit, we're going to get them to record certain audio messages, and we're going to get them to record encouraging words as well, so that we can upload them and provide them for you right here on this platform. So stay tuned. We'll be back here tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, we're here to help you to truly get ready to elevate.